What is up, guys? Sparrow here. Orange episode 2 review. Quite a few things that I want to touch on with this episode. So, for starters, it was kind of like an hearty episode, like carefree high school life, and they were just enjoying it, which I liked. I liked this. I liked this. It was pretty. This was pretty much the majority of the episode. It was just kind of carefree, hearty, lifestyle. Um, and I feel like a lot of slice of lives, kind of do this before they hit you with that bombshell. And at the end, it's kind of when we got it. I was kind of expecting it, but we'll talk about that later. But like I say, kind of like hearty episode, carefree high school lifestyle, enjoying themselves. We see Kakeru actually pretty good at soccer, joining. Well, not actually joining the soccer team, but a provisional watcher of sorts. He promised his mom he wouldn't join a club, so he's not joining the soccer team, but I guess he's going to the practice and kind of watching and maybe participate every now and then, but not actually joining the club. And we see this letter again, which we know is filled with Naho's regret. How the letter actually got to her, we still don't know, but we know that it's filled with her regret, and I'm kind of curious, is that all that's in that letter? It's just, things that she regretted doing at the time, because we see that Kakeru actually invited her to walk home together, and then Naho says that this wasn't in the letter, so she wasn't expecting it. So I'm wondering if the only things that are in that letter are things that I guess relate to the regrettable instances that she has 10 years from now. And so we also see that Naho actually makes Kakeru a lunch, and she says that she's going to continue to do so, and kind of be there for him. One thing I do want to point out though is while she was making the lunch, she was kind of indecisive, and we see that same indecisiveness in her mom. So we kind of see where she gets it from. I thought that was a nice tidbit they put in there alongside Naho making that lunch, indecisive whether she wanted to do it or not, and then right next to her was also the indecisiveness of her mom, where in which she was contemplating on doing the bulletin review or whatever she was doing, also indecisive. So I like that. I really like that. And then at the end, we see that the reason for his absence, Kakeru's absence for 2 weeks, is that his mom committed suicide. Why she committed suicide, we don't know. But what we do know is that in Naho's letter, she tells the younger Naho to not invite him on that day of the ceremony, because that is in fact the day that his mom committed suicide, and they invited him anyway. So he wasn't there for her committing suicide, and I'm wondering if she didn't invite him, what would have happened? Like, what would have changed? I'm wondering if these events, that some of them she's doing and some of them she's not doing, is ultimately going to alter the future, because we see in the future that Naho and Sawa are actually together. Like, they have a kid. So I'm wondering if Kakeru is actually alive. Does him and Naho get together? Because you can kind of tell that maybe Kakeru likes Naho and Naho likes Kakeru, maybe. But then we have Sowa in there as well. So I don't know. I'm wondering if it changes the future. If he's, obviously it does if he survives, but I'm not too sure. I'm curious as to how that's going to work if she actually manages to be there for him, like that mother figure in which he regrettably lost during that time in which she committed suicide. So I'm wondering if she's actually going to continue to rewrite her wrongs, like kind of actually do what the letter tells her to do. Because we see with the lunch, she was indecisive, but ultimately she did in fact end up giving him the lunch. It wasn't at the time and when lunch was occurring, but she did in fact decide to give it to him. So I'm wondering if even like that small little like gap in where she didn't give it to him at lunch, but she gave it to him anyway, has any effect on anything. I would assume not, because he was in fact happy about it, but I don't know. I don't know. We still don't know how she got this letter, and is it going to change the future if she actually, keeps going with it and pretty much righting these wrongs? Because if it does, and Kakadu is alive, what does that mean for their future selves? I'm wondering if it's one of those things where in which it's kind of like another, where in which like you will die. Like if you don't die this day, you die this day. Like I'm not too sure what's going to happen there. This is just a mere assumption. I hope that's not the case, because that would just be terrible. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, do you think that it was actually a good thing to send that letter back? Because Naho's younger self regrets reading that letter. She does. Do you guys think it was a good thing? Do you think she's going to follow through with all the commitments? Do you think that it's going to change the present or the future if Kakadu is alive? Which I would assume so. But do you also think it's one of those things where in which he has to die in order for like the future to continue to be what it is? I'm curious as to what you guys think in the comment sections. But that's it for me. This episode, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. That bombshell at the end, wasn't expecting it. I figured it was coming, but I didn't think it was going to come until like another episode. But I was not expecting that. I really was not expecting that. So that was good. I really enjoyed this episode. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Give it an 8.5. This series is probably the best, if not the only slice of life series this season. There might be others that I'm unaware of, but this one's pretty good. I liked it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Sparrow signing off. Have a good one, people.